I can't believe I'm here.
We are so psyched that you're...
Under the blinding flash of 1,000 cameras, she stands, radiant, calm, and smiling. But behind that perfect frame lies a story few could ever imagine. Because before the red carpets, before the world learned her name, there was a baby girl, left at an orphanage in Can Tho, Vietnam, waiting for a chance she didn't even know existed. That baby would one day grow up to change how Hollywood sees beauty, identity, and love itself. Her journey is one of quiet strength and gentle rebellion. A fight not for fame, but for belonging. From the ballet studios of Washington to the soundstages of Netflix, she carried one question deep inside her heart. Who am I? And where do I truly belong? This is not just the story of a rising star. It's the story of a girl who turned uncertainty into purpose and found her light in a world that once told her she didn't fit in. This is the journey of Lana Condor. Lana Therese Condor was born in Can Tho, Vietnam in 1997, a small city surrounded by rivers, where the air is thick with warmth and the scent of rain. But before she could even take her first steps, fate would send her across the world. At just 4 months old, she was adopted by a loving American couple, Bob and Mary Condor, who flew halfway across the globe to bring her home. They named her Lana, a name that would one day shine across screens, yet for years belonged to a girl searching quietly for where she truly came from. Growing up in Chicago and later on Bainbridge Island, Lana lived what looked like a happy, typical American childhood. She was bright, curious, endlessly imaginative, always drawn to stories and movement. But beneath that sunny smile there was a quiet ache, the feeling of being different in a world that didn't always understand. At school, she was one of the few Asian kids in her class, and while her parents surrounded her with love, Lana often wondered about the mother she never knew, and the land whose language she couldn't speak. Art became her refuge. She found comfort in ballet. The discipline, the grace, the storytelling without words. It was there, in the dance studio's soft light, that she first learned the beauty of expression, that emotion could be louder than language, and movement could say what words could not. Her childhood wasn't defined by tragedy, but by transformation. Because even when she didn't yet know it, every step, every pirouette, every dream was carrying her closer to the place where she would finally belong, the screen. By her teenage years, Lana's heart had already chosen a language, performance. While other kids dreamed of college or careers, she dreamed of becoming, of stepping into stories that could move people the way art once saved her. Her parents, ever supportive, encouraged her to follow that spark. She trained at the New York Film Academy and the Yale Summer Conservatory for Actors, polishing her craft with quiet focus. But every audition came with the same unspoken barrier. Hollywood wasn't built for faces like hers. Casting rooms were filled with smiles that said, "You're great, but we're looking for someone else." And someone else almost always meant someone not Asian. Still, she refused to surrender. In 2016, a miracle, or maybe destiny, arrived. Lana landed her first major role in X-Men Apocalypse. She played Jubilee, a bright, rebellious mutant who could shoot fireworks from her hands. Though her screen time was brief, for Lana it meant everything. It was the moment a girl from an orphanage in Vietnam stepped into a global blockbuster, standing shoulder to shoulder with stars she'd grown up watching. And yet, when the movie premiered, something unexpected happened. Her scenes were largely cut. The world barely noticed her name, but Lana did not break. Instead, she smiled and whispered to herself, "If this is just the beginning, then I'll make them remember me next time." That small role didn't define her. It prepared her, because the world's quietest introduction was about to give birth to one of Hollywood's loudest breakthroughs. 2 years after her quiet debut, Hollywood was about to meet Lana Condor all over again, this time in a story that would rewrite the rules. In 2018, Netflix released To All the Boys I've Loved Before, a small romantic comedy with no A-list stars, no massive marketing campaign, Just a heartfelt story about a shy, bookish girl named Lara Jean. No one expected it to explode. But it did. Almost overnight, Lana Condor became the face of a global phenomenon. Her warmth, humor, and sincerity turned Lara Jean into a symbol, a reflection of every girl who felt unseen, unspoken, or underestimated. Audiences didn't just watch her, they saw themselves in her. And for the first time, millions of young Asian American women looked at the screen and realized they could be the lead too. Lana wasn't playing a stereotype, she was rewriting one, and the world took notice. Magazine covers, interviews, talk shows. The once unknown girl from Cantho was now being called Hollywood's new sweetheart. But behind the glowing headlines, Lana kept her humility. She still wrote thank you notes to fans. She still FaceTimed her parents every night. And she still whispered the same quiet gratitude she had felt since childhood. That somehow life had chosen her to tell this story. But fame, as always, comes with its shadow. The spotlight that once felt warm would soon burn. Because when the world decides you're a symbol, it also decides what you should be, and what you can't. Still, for one golden summer, Lana Condor stood at the peak of a dream she'd once thought impossible. A Vietnamese-born orphan who had just redefined what a Hollywood heroine could look like. Fame arrived like a tidal wave, fast, beautiful, and unstoppable. And for a while, Lana tried to surf it with grace. But what the world saw as a fairy tale often felt like a cage. The more people adored Lara Jean, the harder it became for Lana Condor to exist outside of her. Interviews blurred between compliments and comparisons. Producers didn't see an actress anymore. They saw a brand, a type, a symbol of wholesome Asian representation. Every smile became an expectation. Every word, a headline. And behind closed doors, the cheerful girl the world adored was struggling to breathe. She began to feel the pressure of being the role model, the weight of millions who saw her as the face of something bigger than herself. In her own words, "There were days when I didn't feel worthy of the love people gave me. I felt like I was pretending to be strong when, inside, I was falling apart." The internet, once her stage, became a battlefield. Rumors about her relationships, comments about her appearance. The constant noise of public scrutiny. Anxiety crept in like fog. Sleep became rare. Smiles rehearsed. Hollywood's brightest new star was learning its cruelest lesson, that visibility can be both a gift and a burden. For Lana, it wasn't a scandal in the traditional sense. No arrests, no meltdowns. Her downfall was quieter. It was emotional, invisible, the slow erosion of peace in the glare of fame. But just when it seemed she might disappear behind her own shadow, Lana Condor chose something rare in Hollywood: to pause, to heal, and to begin again. When the applause faded and the cameras stopped flashing, Lana Condor faced something more powerful than fame: silence. For the first time in years, she let herself slow down. No red carpets, no interviews, no pretending to be okay. Just time. To breathe. To rediscover what she loved about acting before the world had an opinion about it. She began writing again, journaling, meditating. She surrounded herself with the people who saw Lana, not Lara Jean. And slowly, piece by piece, she began to find her voice. In 2022, she returned, not as the same girl the world had fallen for, but as a woman who knew her worth. Her projects, Boo, Bitch, and Moonshot, showed a different side of her: funny, fearless, confident. She wasn't chasing perfection anymore. She was chasing truth. She also started using her platform for more than promotion, speaking openly about anxiety, self-image, and identity. Her honesty made her more relatable than ever. Fans didn't just love her characters, they began to love her humanity. In interviews, she spoke softly but firmly. "I'm not just an actress. I'm a Vietnamese-American woman learning how to love myself in a world that tells me to be someone else. Hollywood took notice again. This time not because of a viral movie, but because of her authenticity. She wasn't a breakout star anymore. She was a voice. Lana Condor had turned pain into power, and uncertainty into purpose. Her reinvention wasn't about reclaiming fame. It was about reclaiming peace. And for the first time since that little girl left Vietnam, she finally felt at home. Not on a screen, but within herself. Lana Condor never set out to be a symbol. She only wanted to tell stories that mattered. But in doing so, she became one of the most influential Asian American voices of her generation. Her portrayal of Lara Jean didn't just charm audiences, it opened doors. After her, studios began to see what they had long ignored: that stories led by women of color could be universal, profitable, and powerful. Representation stopped being a slogan. It became a movement, and Lana was at its heart, graceful, articulate, and quietly revolutionary. Younger actresses, from Leah Lewis to Ashley Park, have credited her with inspiring them to chase leading roles once deemed impossible. And fans, from Vietnam to Los Angeles, write to her saying she helped them see themselves on screen for the very first time. Beyond Hollywood, she used her fame to amplify causes that mattered, supporting education, mental health awareness, and the rights of adoptees searching for identity. Her name became more than a headline. It became a bridge between cultures. She reminded the world that representation is not about statistics, it's about empathy. That success isn't just about who's seen on screen, it's about who finally feels seen because of it. And in the glittering noise of Hollywood, Lana Condor's legacy continues to whisper something profound: that kindness, courage, and authenticity will always outshine the spotlight. As the whirlwind of fame began to settle, Lana Condor found herself drawn back, not to another film set, but to her roots. In recent years, she returned to Vietnam, quietly, humbly, visiting the orphanage where her story began. The same walls that once held her as an infant now held a generation of children dreaming of a future they could not yet imagine. She sat among them, smiling softly, realizing how far that baby girl had traveled, not just across oceans, but through fear, doubt, and discovery. That visit didn't just reconnect her with her past, it healed something deep inside her. Lana began to speak openly about gratitude for her parents, her culture, and the gift of dual identity. She no longer saw being Vietnamese-American as a contradiction, but as a strength, two worlds shaping one voice. Off-screen, she poured her energy into love and kindness, mentoring young artists, supporting mental health initiatives, and spreading messages of self-acceptance. She learned that success wasn't about fame or validation, it was about balance. In one interview, she reflected quietly, "Home isn't a place, it's a feeling. And I've learned to carry it within me." Through stillness and self-understanding, Lana Condor found what she had been searching for all along: peace, purpose, and a sense of belonging that no red carpet could ever give. From an orphanage in Vietnam to the bright lights of Hollywood, Lana Condor's journey is more than a story about fame. It's a story about finding home. She was once a child searching for identity, then an actress chasing acceptance. But somewhere between those two worlds, she discovered something deeper: that belonging isn't something the world gives you. It's something you create within yourself. Lana's story reminds us that we are not defined by where we begin, but by how we rise, how we love, and how we learn to stand in our own truth. Her life has become a quiet revolution, proof that grace can be powerful, and softness can be strength. That representation isn't just about seeing faces that look like ours, but hearing voices that echo our hopes, fears, and dreams. And so, when the cameras fade and the applause becomes memory, Lana Condor remains a symbol of courage, of culture, of self-acceptance. Because in the end, her greatest role wasn't Lara Jean. It was being herself. This was Lana Condor, the girl who turned uncertainty into light and found her way home.